Hi everybody. I wanted to show you my brooder that I put together for about 20 bucks or less. It was a fun project, and it's a great project for parents and children to do together. You have a good time doing it, and it's a lot of fun. So let me show you exactly how I put it together, and then I'll show you the finished product of when it's all assembled, and you can take it from there if you want. Okay, let's start down here at the bottom. What I did was, because this plastic is pretty smooth, and so with the little guys running around in there, they need something to grip on, otherwise their legs won't develop. So I went to the dollar store and I bought some of this material. It's a rubbery surface. It's like a drawer liner, and I took two halves, cut it, and my wife actually sewed a seam, and I just made sure it was tight all around the edges, and then I put some shavings, wood shavings from my Avery out there on the bottom, just in case, like, the water tray here. There's a couple of trays I have, just stuff around the house, and my daughter had the marbles I borrowed from her. And so when if the water spills out while you're moving it or something, the shavings hopefully will soak it up. And so that's there at the bottom. Let's come over here to the top. Now keep in mind I have the top turned upside down. But for the heat lamp, here's what I did. You see the blue pancake pan here? I think there's a little bit of a glare. Let me go ahead and go from the top. It might be easier to see. Yeah, here we go. This is better. Let me take my little lid off here. Okay, so what I did is I got the pancake pan, or box, and I drilled a 1/2-inch hole, fed the wires through, and then if you take it, you see where my thumb's at, you see that hole, 1/4 inch, lines up with that one, and the other hole there will line up with the other one, and so it'll screw in real perfect, feed the screws right on, or the bolts right on through like so. Okay. And then I have the little plastic socket. And notice here on the back, you have kind of looks like a copper screw and a silver screw. And what that is for, that's for your positive, that's for your negative. And what I took is an old heat lamp, not a heat lamp, an old extension cord. And I just cut it. Let me see, where's the end of it? Right here. I just cut the end off, and I fed it through, stripped the wires back to about 5/8 or so on both ends. Now, if you, on an extension cord, you might wonder, how do you tell which end is the positive and which is the negative? Simple way to do that. Look at the end of the extension cord. Notice you'll have kind of a fat end here. You see that? It's fatter, and you have a thinner end. Well, the thinner end's always going to be your positive. So follow that back. Take that through. Take that from here, all down. Follow that, and come all the way around the wire till you come up to that end. And then run a piece of black tape around it, or black marker it or something, so you can tell at this end. And that end, take the wire, tighten it up so it's a nice, clean, tight wind. Put that in the copper end, and the other side will go into the silver end. Now, if you should happen to mess them up and put them the wrong way, polarized, it's not going to matter. It'll still work, and you won't cause a fire hazard or anything, so that's not really nothing to worry about. But if you want to do it absolutely correct, that's the way you do it. The positive goes to the copper, and the other end goes to the silver. Okay, and I decided to use just a regular old heat lamp like this. It doesn't light up, but it does put out pretty good heat. I figured, I could use an old incandescent light bulb in here, but the light would be on 24/7. So what I figured, with the heat lamp, I could put my brooder close to a window, and it would get the natural light during the day, and at nighttime when it's dark, it would be dark, and it'd be a little easier transition for the little guys when they finally go out in the Avery, because obviously that's the way it's going to work outside. So that's what I decided to do. Now over here, let's come over here to the hole I cut. Just measured out, I think it's like 11 by 11, and this plastic is a little bit thick. Kind of hard to cut with. You're not going to be able to do it with you're not going to be able to do that with a pair of scissors. So I marked it out with a marker, and there's two ways you can do it, two easy ways you can do it. Because I'm kind of lazy, I took my grinder, and I laid this on a flat piece of plywood, and I cut it out with the grinder all the way around like so. But if you've never used a grinder, it can be kind of tough and dangerous, so just caution is in order. Or if you don't even have a grinder, what you can do is drill a few starter holes in here and grab a pair of tin snips like so, and get them in there and start cutting. The tin snips will work really good, and they'll cut it out too. And then what I would recommend you do is take a file. Man, this stuff is very slick. Take a file and get all the burrs around the edges there. Clean it up really good, And then I just decided to run a little duct tape around the edges just to kind of make it nice and smooth. And that worked really good. And then when I was thinking, well, what can I do for a cover? Well, my first thought is I would make a little wooden trim around it and then use some screen material, like screen door material. And then I was looking around the garage and I realized I had this piece right here. I had a larger piece of this this type of metal grid. I had like a 2-foot by a 3-foot piece, and I figured, hey, this would work just fantastic. So what I did was I cut out the right size piece, like you see here. Let me just turn this little bugger. It keeps wanting to slide off. So I cut out the right size piece, and you can cut it 2 ways. Use the grinder to cut off, cut along here, or you can use a pair of snips. Where are my snips? You can use a pair of snips like this to just 1 by 1 cut them. And then I took, and let me see if we can find it. Here we go, down at this edge. As you see, I left a couple of prongs. I took them, I bent them upward. Or I should say, I bent them downward because this is the way it's going to fit, like so. And I drilled a couple holes in there. And so now all you have to do is put it on like so. Slide them in the hole. Kind of hard to do with one hand. There you go. It's going to fit in there. And it's in there nice and tight. Ain't going anywhere. So that's basically how I did it. So adding up the price, the bin itself, about $9 and some change at the Home Depot. The little blue pancake box is about $3 and some change. The heat lamp bulb, I think I bought that on, where did I get that, on Amazon or eBay? About $5. And then the extension cord, I actually had that one. I had a bunch of them out in the garage, so I just cut one and used that. But if you had to buy that, about $2 maybe. And also, again, the little plastic socket, another $2. So there you have it. So everything added up, it's around $20 or less. And what I'll do now is I'll pause it. I'll go ahead and assemble it, and I'll show you the finished product. Okay, here we are. Fast forward about 5 minutes. I got everything all assembled. And here we go, finished product. Yeah, it's really nice. And like I said, the advantage of having the clear plastic is you can see right through the side. So you can see the little guys running around. And the lid is easy open, easy off, easy open. Just pop it right off. Put it back in the holes. Fits in there nicely, snug and tight. And the heat lamps all, bad shot there. Heat lamps all in position. You've got about, I don't know, about 5 inches or so from the bottom. Maybe 5 to 6 inches. So the birds can huddle up underneath there. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. Have fun doing it.